This is Sustainable Voices, where ideas for a better future speak loud.
Welcome to our podcast. My name is Anna, and as always, I have the wonderful Bleona sitting across from me. Hi, Bleona.
Hello, Anna, and a warm welcome to all our listeners. It's great to have you with us today.
How are you doing today, Bleona?
Thanks, Anna. I'm doing very well. I'm very excited about the fascinating topic we've prepared for today.
That's true. We've got a really interesting topic for you guys today. It's called health benefits in nature. At first glance, it might seem a bit broad, right, Bleona? But when we consider that most of us spend 90% of our days indoors, in front of screens, in offices, or in classrooms, it becomes clear how important this topic is for all of us, especially for students. A recent study from the University of Michigan in 2023 even shows that just 20 minutes in a natural environment can significantly reduce stress levels. Isn't that crazy?
Absolutely, Anna. And that's why today we want to explore why nature is so good for us and how it helps us to manage stress and improve our overall well-being.
And later on in the podcast today, we have a really exciting highlight for you guys. An expert will join us to share insights on how the topic of health benefits of nature is implemented in their company and what challenges they may face. Bleona, why do we feel so good in nature?
Anna, that's such an interesting question. Maybe you've experienced this yourself. You're stressed, you go outside, maybe just for a short walk, and you come back feeling like a new person. Why does that happen? The answer lies in a concept called biophilia.
Biophilia? That sounds like a scientific term from biology. What exactly does it mean?
The term biophilia was originally coined by the biologist Edward O. Wilson. It describes the idea that humans have an innate connection to nature. This connection is deeply rooted in our evolution. After all, we've spent years developing in natural environments. Studies such as one by Barbero and Berto in 2021 show that this connection strengthens us not only emotionally but also psychologically.
So we feel good in nature because it's essentially to our original habit?
Exactly, Anna. And there are even more fascinating studies about this. For example, research by Grinder and Patil in 2009 showed that even visual contact with nature, like looking at a tree or having plants in a room, can positively impact our health. These measurable effects include reducing stress, improving concentration, and even enhancing creativity.
Wow, that's impressive. So it's not just subjective perception, but actually scientifically proven.
That's very right, Anna. We dug deeper into this and came across the stress recovery theory by Roger Ulrich.
Tell us more about what the stress recovery theory explains.
Of course, the stress recovery theory by Roger Ulrich is a scientific explanation of how nature helps us reduce stress. It's based on the idea that humans have evolved to respond positively to natural environments because these provided safety and essential resources like water and food. Such environments have a calming effect and enhance our ability to process stress and recover more quickly.
That's fascinating, Pleona. Are there any studies that back this up?
Yes, Ulrich conducted a groundbreaking study in 1984 that illustrates this perfectly. His research design was very simple yet highly significant. He studied the recovery of patients after surgery in a hospital. The patients were divided into two groups. One group had rooms with windows overlooking a natural landscape, while the other had windows facing a brick wall.
And what were the findings?
The results were remarkable. Patients with a view on nature recovered faster, needed fewer painkillers, and had fewer negative entries in their care records. In contrast, patients with a view of the wall had slower recovery times and more complaints.
That's an incredible effect, and all just from looking out of a window. That's really fascinating.
Yes, it is. And this study is a milestone too, because it scientifically demonstrates how strongly natural environments influence our physical and mental health. Ulrich's approach has since been replicated and confirmed multiple times, including studies showing that even a short stay in a park or a view of plants can have similar effects.
That's so impressive. Our bodies seem to physiologically respond to nature.
That's crazy, right? Other studies show that nature lowers our heart rate and blood pressure, regulates cortisol levels, and thus reduces stress. It also enhances our focus through what's called self fascination. This means nature gently captures our attention without overwhelming us, which is exactly what we need to recover from mental fatigue.
That's truly fascinating and super relevant for everyone under significant stress.
Exactly. But now I wonder, how does this apply to our modern lives? After all, most of us live in cities.
That's right. That's the interesting part, Leona. Even in urban spaces, we can harness the benefits of nature. For example, through biophilic design, an approach that integrates natural elements like plants, light, or water into our built environments.
That's so cool. I've never really thought about how much of an impact the design of offices or workspaces can have, especially since we spend so much time at our workplaces. It makes total sense.
Absolutely, Leona. It's fascinating to see how small adjustments, like incorporating plants or utilizing natural light, can influence our well being and our productivity. And that's why we've invited a special guest today to share practical insights from the field to you.
Right, guys. And we are very excited to welcome Raphael Detzel to the show. He brings a wealth of experience in this area and will share how he incorporates this topic into his work.
Hello, Raphael. We are thrilled to have you here today. Before we dive into the details, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners? Who are you? What do you do? And for who are you working?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me in your podcast. I'm very pleased. My name is Raphael. I'm the head of sales here at Tanso, a Munich-based startup company. We are providing software for carbon accounting and sustainability management. We focus on SME businesses, mainly based in the industrial sector. And second question was regarding what relevance nature has for me personally, and I would describe it as important part of my work-life balance or my work-life balance routine. For instance, I rather love to run in the evenings and prefer to run in the Olympic Park or English Garden instead of the city center. And I use it especially to free my mind.
Where do you see yourself, the connection in the workplace, for especially in your daily life?
As I mentioned earlier, we as a sustainability company, we also focus on atmosphere and also having a sustainable relationship with all employees. And for me personally, it's important that I have the possibility to design my daily life or workload like I love to work. For sure, there are some dependencies regard uh, customers or prospects in customer-facing roles, but all internal topics. For instance, I love to prepare um, in a lounge chair or by short breakout, walking around the office building, something like that.
Have you ever heard of biophilia before?
To be honest, the very first time I heard about it was um, with your request visiting your podcast. For sure, I Googled it a little bit,
Well,
but it would be great if you give me the explanation, yeah, to enrich my comprehensive here.
Sure, sure. So, in general, biophilia is like the connectedness people have to nature. It's like an evolutionary approach that we as human beings have the intention that we want to be in nature and that we feel good being in nature. And there is like some new studies where they say that we can find biophilia not just in the nature, but also in companies. Do you see that biophilia is somehow applied in your company?
Yes, for sure. I don't know if it's exactly the way according to the definition, but when I think about, for instance, about a really cool meeting format we have established here. These are the so-called coffee walks for one-on-one meetings where no laptops or immediate documentation is needed. We really like to go for a walk and yeah, don't use official meeting rooms in our office. Fresh air, sunshine, or even cloudy and cold days during winter times, like right now. These meetings are very welcomed, and as I know, all teams here at Tanso are practicing it in that way.
Yes, that sounds really cool. I've heard that before with the walk and talk. I think it's a really interesting idea or a really cool idea to include nature and efficient working together. And this is the perfect bridge to our next topic.
Yes, when we talk about nature, it's also very interesting to know in general how your building or how your office is designed. Do you see like some specific design, maybe in the biophilic direction?
Lucky us, we found a very modern office in the city center of Munich. And in our follow-up plan, we consider classic office rooms. So every individual team has its own room. For instance, my go-to-market and sales teams, we are in one room, but we combine it with different kind of meeting rooms. So we have phone booths for hybrid meetings and video calls. And in addition to that, we have the so-called focus room. This is a room where any kind of meetings are strictly forbidden, and we only accept individual focus work in here. So here you can see this is maybe not directly related to design, but we try to separate the people and get focus by the atmosphere. So a light but silent room for focus work, but a more um, open space for team collaborations or combined work. In summer times, we have a rooftop terrace. So especially myself, I really love to prepare my very first emails out there in the morning hours. Um, yeah, that's it's really great, and I enjoy that we have here the capabilities to switch between the desk and a lounge chair, for instance.
Do you feel that biophilic principles such as light, plants, or even natural colors are consciously considered in your workplace?
Yes, we have a modern building, and our office is very bright. We have window rows on two sides, glass panels between the office and our main floor. Um, but to be honest, we also have two rooms with less sunlight, where we added modern ceiling lights to ensure or to save a proper workplace here.
Very nice. A study shows, for example, that plants can boost productivity by up to 15%.
Actually, we have plants in every single office room. Our co-founder and CPO Giri, she really loves plants, and she waters the plants on a weekly basis. I'm not sure if it really empowers our performance during the days. So it's not a massive forest here. But when I think about home office, yeah, we selected here plants which refresh the air or give me positive feeling just by looking nice. So I think that's a very first step in terms of biophilia.
What you described is called soft fascination, actually. So you perceive natural elements very easily. So you don't use many cognitive resources for that. So that makes a lot of sense. And that's why it can boost productivity. And when we talk about natural elements, we can also talk about a color scheme. So, do you have like a specific color scheme in your offices, or is it like mainly white walls and gray walls? Because a study shows that gray color scheme in offices are often is perceived as uninspiring. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, we are in rent here, so it's difficult to color the walls. So it's mainly white, but it's bright and open, and we have a lovely wooden floor. Um, so there's no official color concept in here, but we have a kitchen and mainly in green forest shades. So here you can get an idea, um, but it would be a lie if I would sell this to you as part of our color concept.
Now we want to talk about another topic. Did you ever heard about the stress recovery theory?
No, but I'm very interested to learn more about it, especially in
Sure.
this context here.
Yeah, sure. So the stress recovery theory explains how natural environments for us citizens or for us human beings help us recover from stress quickly and effectively, which means if we go out in the natural environment, such as going on a walk, or as you said, you do a run in the Olympia Park or in the English Garden, can help us to reduce stress more quickly and more effectively, that we have later on a better feeling and yeah, kind of more relaxed and calmed. Do you see that there's some connections in your work?
Yeah, so as mentioned earlier, so giving the opportunity to choose the workplace or a spot which suits you best for your task or gives you the best feeling to fulfill your task is, in my opinion, very valuable and reduces stress or boosts creativity. Um, Most of my colleagues change desk for a lounge chair or a walk during the workday. And also in my team, most colleagues go outside the office building to clear their minds. Also, as part of their preparation before or after important meetings like negotiations or similar.
And in your daily life, so you, as you mentioned earlier, you go a lot in the park or in the English garden. And do you recognize that you feel better afterwards, or was it just like, yeah, just going out feels good? Did you ever thought about that intensively?
It has always been a crucial part in my life. So free your mind by walk around in the streets, in the park, or go for a run, or during the weekends. go for a hike, now in winter, go skiing. This is very important, and I I really love to combine enjoying the nature with sports. This is what I really enjoy. Mm, so mm, I wouldn't describe that I actively think about it, but it's a key element of my daily life.
Raphael, what do you think, what visions or ideas do you have for the future to like further integrate biophilia into your daily work environment?
I would say it's difficult to talk about a full vision
Yeah,
without
sure.
really thinking about it for a longer time. Um, but you can see it. I'm sitting right now in this gray meeting booth here. Uh, Maybe these can change. I'm not sure if it's possible that you can use, instead of these uh, gray walls, use screens and give me a Caribbean feeling here, or something like that.
That would be
And
very cool.
so, uh, as one idea, or when I think about the video calls, we use Slack here. mm, for internal communication, and you also can call your colleagues. And if you cannot reach the other participant, Slack plays the sound of a rushing sea or forest sounds. Um, so similar to the Shavasana music you have at the end of your yoga sessions. This is kind of cool, and maybe you also can implement such sounds in meeting rooms before you start a meeting, or to calm down based on the situations. Maybe there's a chance to detect the stress level in the room, and then play background noises to calm the audience down, or something like that.
That would be a very cool feature, I think. And I think it would have like a calming effect on people because there are like apps, for example, you can download with exactly those sounds. I think there are studies that show that those sounds have a calming effect. And when we talk more about future, and technologies, do you think you could envision like using AR or VR technologies to create like a virtual natural environment in the workplace?
Yeah, I see the potential for more usage in daily business. I don't have a concrete idea how it would look like at the end, but um, why not? Maybe here a counter question. Do you think AR or VR can replace real natural environment with smell, etc.? And is it possible that we get a real natural atmosphere with AR applications?
I think
Uh,
that's an interesting question too. I think in the future we will have definitely some technologies who can replace nature, I believe, because I think nowadays everything is more or less possible because the change is going so fast. I think we can see that in our daily life. But if it can really replace like feelings, smells, or I don't know, just the feeling we have if we are outside, I think that's a tricky question. And I think we will see in the future. Who knows? Then I think we're more or less in the end of our podcast today. So, Raphael, first of all, thank you for all your input and your knowledge you shared with us. And I think it was really interesting for us, for both of us, and I think for our listeners as well. And yes, do you have any questions left, or would you like to mention anything in the end?
yeah, thank you very much once more for having me. And I'm looking forward to listen to the final result.
Leona, I believe we shared many exciting insights today. Nature is not just for relaxation, but also a powerful tool for our health and creativity.
Absolutely, Anna. And with the practical tip from Raphael and the connection to scientific studies such as the stress recovery theory or biophilic design, we've hopefully provided many suggestions for our daily lives and workplaces.
Absolutely. We thank our guest Raphael and of course you, our listeners. Stay curious until the next episode. Bye!
Bye!
Thanks for listening to Sustainable Voices. Let your voice drive change. If you like this podcast, check out the other episodes of Sustainable Voices.